This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome everyone to new Unfranchise Owner Training. We have decided to do the new Unfranchise Owner Training divided into 3 segments. So each of these segments will be about an hour because the new Unfranchise Owner Training is a 3-hour training, which is a lot to sit digitally and watch. So we wanted to break it into 3 segments. I know it's hard for a lot of you to get out to new unfranchised owner in some of your areas that you're in. You don't have them available regularly, but if they are available, we want to recommend that you get to a live one and get your partners to live ones. Because if you don't get to the live ones, some of this is really kind of not easy to understand without having conversations. So we're going to go through everything, but what I want to say to you is if you have any questions whatsoever, all you need to do is get back to your senior business partner and or Pip or myself, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. We want to make sure that you understand what you have your hands on. This business is absolutely incredible in what it can offer you, but you have to understand what you have, just like anything else that you do in life. So with no further ado, let's get started. These are some of the acronyms. Yes, Market America loves acronyms. So when you look down this list, there's acronyms. I want you to know that you can go into your back office on unfranchise.com under the support materials, and you can simply type in the search bar NUOT, NUOT, New Unfranchised Owner Training, and the PowerPoint will come up. You can download it, and you have access to these same slides. So I recommend go ahead and download this slide specifically until you get to know all of these acronyms and you have them memorized. So let's jump ahead to the next slide. So welcome to New Unfranchised Owner Training. I have to tell you that this is not intended to represent the income of a typical Market America franchise owner or intended to represent any given unfranchised owner that will earn that income in that amount. It's basically depends on the success of any owner, or I'm sorry, it depends on the amount of hard work, talent, and dedication. And I always say it's really not talent. There is a skill set to be learned in this business, but the skill set is really how to just have natural conversations with people to bring them solutions, so that instead of trying to make somebody do something you want them to do, find out what people are looking for and then provide them a solution, or ask them to help you by evaluating something, whether it be a product that you're asking them to evaluate and trial, or look at the business and evaluate the business to be able to provide you referrals. So with that being said, there is a skill set behind learning some of that lingo, if you might, but it's really not talent. So if it were talent, I always said I was never going to win a talent show. It's not about talent. It's really about hard work, dedication, and consistency, and realizing that if you devote yourself to this business and you devote yourself consistently in getting better and better week to week to week, it will work. It's just a matter of time. So there are 3 required trainings. This is one of them, New Unfranchised Owner Training, which is going to go over the terminology and requirements of your business so you understand your back office and how the business actually works. Basic 5 teaches you the fundamentals of how to build a successful unfranchised business, or what I consider a leveraged residual income. So that Basic 5 training is just as important because you want to learn how to do that, but they're equally important because if you don't know how to run your back office and manage your business, with the New Unfranchised Owner Training, it's going to be hard to, really be able to move forward effectively. Once you have completed both of those, and I always say you may need to take them numerous times regularly. I always say take them at least once a quarter would be good, or at least review the webinar, or the slides once a quarter. They're available, like I said, in your back office. But once you've gone to those and you understand the material that's in New Unfranchised Owner Training, then you would be ready to take the Executive Coordinator Certification Training, which we refer to as ECCT. And that is an in-depth knowledge of all the terminology and requirements. And there is a test that goes with it. It is open book. Excuse me. It is open book. But it is a test nonetheless for the reason, the only reason is to make sure that you understand the material so that you would be signed off to be able to pass that along to the team that's under you in the genealogical organization. So NUOT, this webinar does not satisfy the need in terms of that requirement. So and nor does taking it in the back office. You must go to a live NUOT and a live B5 in order to get accredited, basically, to take the ECCT. I'm actually going to go back one. That's correct. The online trainings did satisfy the training requirements before, but they've changed it back to the online trainings do not satisfy. And the reason being is because there's just nothing to replace live. So if you're not in an area that has something like this available to you, let me know, because I would want to go through the training with you and make sure your senior business partners are going through the training with you, because anyone who is an executive coordinator or above can teach NUOT and B5. So we want to make sure that you are getting trained properly on these, and then you get your certificate. So NUOT, like we said, is an introduction to the unfranchised business. It's the systems that are going to operate and manage your unfranchised business. So basically, it's the back office. It's understanding what we call the MPCP, the Management Performance Compensation Plan. So let's get started. When we go through the Management Performance Compensation Plan, you'll see this slide in the UBPs, which are the Unfranchised Business Presentations. And this slide simply is really what we are all about. We provide a system for entrepreneurs to create an ongoing income and become financially independent while providing consumers worldwide with a better way to shop. Through revolutionary technology and the power of people, we are creating the economy of the future, and we're powered by people just like you, and I always like to say, and me. So this is, I always read this slide. It's well written, and if you can learn this slide, this is really a good theme to talk to people about when they say, what is it that you do? You want to understand the company behind your business. This is covered in Basic 5 as well, with the attitude part and the knowledge of the company. But you want to be able to talk when people say, you know, who is the company behind you? We have the beautiful new 5-minute video that's out that talks about the company, and you want to utilize that as well. But when you're having a conversation with someone up front, you want to be able to talk about the company and that it was founded in 1992 and that it has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. I love that the fact that the head of the Better Business Bureau for North Carolina actually spoke at our convention and is highlighted in that video. Also talk about that we are a global company and we have the ability to sell products and services across the world. So it's really important to highlight some of these things when you're talking to people. The other concept, or what we call another theme, and we always say talk to people in themes. You're not going to talk to people about all the above. What you're going to do is conversations naturally ensue and different things come up. So you might be talking to somebody about just health and wellness, or you might be talking to somebody about skincare or energy, something like that. And so this is where it allows us to be able to say, you know, we do have this product. However, we have hundreds of exclusive products and services because we are not a one-size-fits-all. We have something for everybody and everything for someone. And so we are a product brokerage company, which means we do not manufacture anything, kind of like Home Depot or Walmart. We are not the manufacturer. We are the distributor of these products. So these are exclusive brands for us. We have access to multi-billion-dollar markets with these brands, and we're always identifying as a company what are the latest market-driven products and trends going on, so we can bring products to market that are going to be products that people are wanting and using. And we can then always be flexible in the marketplace with that. We are also an internet marketing company. So I always like to tell people that we bought shop.com. It's now been a little over 10, almost 11 years ago. And that when we bought shop.com, shop.com was the platform that Amazon was built on. And so it kind of was like the peanut butter and jelly getting together. That Market America's IT guy was out to dinner with shop.com's IT guy because they had gone to college together. And they were just kind of, you know, talking, conversation, and found out that one company's leaders were looking to do exactly what the other company's leaders were trying to do. And they realized they each had the match. So they put the company leaders together, and lo and behold, what happened is J.R. Reidinger, our president then and actually the original founder, he then purchased shop.com outright, but instead of treating it like a typical buyout, he treated it more like a merging, in that he took their entire staff, brought that into Market America. Through layers of integration, we created what we see today, and that's shop.com powered by Market America, where we offer cash back to customers. There's no cost to a customer to register. They have access, just like we do as business owners, to thousands of partner stores and hundreds of exclusive products. And as a business owner, we can earn commissions on all of our personal use as well as our customers. And how do we do that? We've created this concept called the shopping annuity. So like an annuity typically you have to put money into it, and then it saves up and it draws on a certain percentage to pay you back years later, typically at retirement. The difference here is most people do not have enough money left over at the end of the month. And because of that, JR's vision was to create an annuity from what people are already buying, because there's advertising dollars left over in the marketplace today. With digital marketing, we've been able to actually move everything to be that people can shop from themselves, get credit for that, and cooperatively pull people together so we're all benefiting or leveraging one another. So you're already spending it, why not get paid for it? So it's all about this 100% credit in our tracking system that we have that allows us to be able to really make this happen for people. So we have objectives for new unfranchised owners. When you first start your business or you start one of your partners, it's really these things that you see. We do 3 things basically. We use and sell the products. So that creates a customer base, or what we call retail profits or cash flow. And that retail profit should really truly fund all of your business for the rest of your life. It is a beautiful thing. It doesn't take a lot of customers to create that, but that is one thing we do. And then we also share the business. Okay, so we share the business by personally sponsoring 2 and help those 2 get activated, if you remember the business plan, so that we can start to create leveraged income where cooperatively we are all getting benefit off of each other's shopping and customers. And then through those, we're actually promoting the shopping annuity. So it's using our own products, selling the product, sharing the business, that we're promoting the shopping annuity. And then the third thing that we really do is attend trainings and sell tickets so people get educated and you're leveraging your time. No different than me doing this webinar. The goal is to leverage your time so that you are able to not have to sit down one-on-one to be able to give all this information. We all collectively go to trainings. The rising tide rises all ships, and we all go to trainings together, whether we are financially connected or not. And it's a great, great way to be able to develop business. So you're building an organization and volume with a team of other unfranchised owners through these concepts to earn $300 or more monthly in commissions. The max amount off of one business center is $3,600 per week, but we can own as many of those as we want. So it is truly unlimited income. You have a getting started guide that comes with the original Fast Start Kit. So the new unfranchised owner will get this in their materials. However, you can actually go online into your back office and download this. It's under help and training, and under support materials, just put in Getting Started Guide. And you'll be able to pull it up. You can email it to someone. You can print it out. You get a beautiful glossy copy of it when you get your Fast Start Kit. But you can also order Getting Started Guides in packets of 10 from the company. And so these Getting Started Guides are really what we go through with you, one page at a time, to really get your business going. I always say the Getting Started Guide is kind of like the Cliff Notes to the business. So if you were a Cliff Note person in college, or some of us didn't go to college, but if you went to college, then you might have been a Cliff Note person. Instead of reading the whole book, you'd get the Cliff Notes. So it allows us to move a lot faster. So when we go through this, there's sections, and it goes through and basically follows the basic 5. And so when you're looking at going through this, you want to go through this and provide people the information they need to be successful. We should be doing this with the people that we personally sponsor in the business to create more success for everyone. So it talks about the fact that you're going to commit to following this business plan for a minimum of 12 months. Why is that? Because if we only give it a month, I mean, no one's going to see grand success in a month. It takes time to learn a business. Most businesses take 4 to 5 years to create success. This business really can create major success in 12 months, but it's really a 2 to 3 year business plan. So you need to have somebody commit to following the business plan for a minimum of 12 months. And what does that mean? It means all these other things. So you're going to go through these different things of how many hours per week. If we say 8 to 15, if somebody only has 4 to 6, and then we're just going to know that it's going to be a longer than 2 to 3 year plan, most likely. If somebody has, 8 to 15, we've got to make sure that they're working on the tasks and activities that are going to be result producing. This is not just sit at your desk and fluff around. It's actually making contact with people for potential customers, making contact for people for potential business partners, and again, selling those tickets to events to leverage your time and get everyone trained properly. So that's why purchase tickets is the next thing on there. And all of you, as you watch this, should have the next ticket. If you are looking for success in business, you need to make sure you have the next ticket in hand to the next event. And sometimes we have 2 tickets at the same time. We might have one to our next local event that's going on, and we might have one to our next larger event that's going on, meaning the international. At this point, we're headed into World Conference 2020. And so, and then completing that shopping annuity assessment so you know what you're using in your home. And listen to a minimum of 2 audios per week on the Unfranchise Media app, which is an app that you can download to your phone. There are thousands and thousands of hours of training there. These are things that you want to make sure that you're going through and helping. I always say that your audios are like prescriptions. When somebody gets stuck with something, or they're in pain, or they're ailing from something, if you've listened to the audios, know what you could recommend to someone to listen to. These are also what we call highlighted on our basic 5 weekly checklist, or accountability checklist, because these are things that need to be done. They're very simple and duplicatable tasks that anybody can do. They were actually set up for a 10 to 12-year-old. And they already put that to the test, that 10 to 12-year-olds were able to follow this business and do it. Sometimes as adults, we get in our own way. So I want to encourage you, don't get in your own way. Go back to being a 10 to 12-year-old and just follow the system. Implement the Master Unfranchise Owner Program criteria, and that is also available in the guide as well as in your back office. You can download it. And that Master Unfranchise Owner criteria is really running by the 2 to 3 year business plan. So again, that's something that you should download, look it over, get with your coach and mentor in the business, commit to what you want to do, let them know, and work towards it together. Don't do these things on your own. And then learn and practice the basic 5 fundamentals. We talked about getting to basic 5 training, making sure that you get to those trainings, learn these different ways of developing, and all of our local seminars also follow the basic 5, so you're constantly learning and getting tips from other people who have been successful before us. And then develop 10 preferred customers ordering our exclusive products. And so you want to develop 10 customers ordering at least 30 BV. So let's bounce ahead. So when we look at what do we have available to us to be able to develop this, we have a lot of tools, a lot of websites, and sometimes people say it's overwhelming. It is overwhelming if you try to get it all at one time. How do we eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Don't try to eat the whole thing at one time. We have lots of tools and different websites available to us because people learn different ways. So we've got audios, we've got videos, we've got written materials. We've got all different kinds of things available in different platforms because there's something for everyone. So be sure to enter in your phone your ID number. You have 2 ID numbers. You have an Unfranchise ID, which is a 9-digit, and you have your rep ID, which is really, I always tell people, it's really knowing your email, because mostly everything requires us to put our email and password or our rep ID and password. But know your unfranchised ID. Make sure you have it in your phone. It's a 9-digit number that was emailed to you when you first registered your business. And then you also have what's called your personal PC or your PPC number, which is, it varies in digits. I mean, if you were in the business a long time ago, it's 7 digits. If you're newer in the business, I can't remember how many digits, it's like 11. But this is your personal ID login for when you're logging into shop.com to purchase from your partner stores. In the unfranchise.com, a business account, your back office, as we refer to it, that's what's costing you $21.95 per month. And this $21.95 per month is kind of like our rent for our business. That's how I look at it. I look at it that it's my rent for my business, but it's also paying me to have a staff of like 850 people who work on my behalf. So when you look at this, you go, you could never, ever own a business and pay $21.95 per month. You know, it wouldn't happen, but we all collectively come together, and that $21.95 allows us to have the staff of IT people that create all these websites for us, that make sure our tracking system runs by the minute, by the day, by the week. Make sure that we have all these graphics available to us for social media and for print. They make sure everything is there so that all we have to do is focus on measuring, monitoring, adjusting, and controlling our business by really working with people. So what's the moving platform here? It's people. People are different. People change. All of your account information, your contact information, management reports, all your forms, everything is in this back office, and your rep ID or email and password are required to log in there. You do not want to give your back office rep ID or email address or password to any other unfranchised owner. This is personal proprietary information to you, and that includes all your junior and senior business partners. You don't want to give that information out. It's kind of like keeping a password to yourself. You don't share it with other people. So you do not want to log into the back office of any other unfranchised owner. That is what we use screen shares for. If you need to see someone's back office to help them and you can't physically be with them, get on a Zoom session, do a screen share so that you can see them log into their back office and you can tell them where to, maneuver around to get to what you're talking about. Every unfranchised owner is responsible for managing his or her own unfranchised business, but obviously we all try to help one another as best we can, but you are responsible ultimately. So there is a setup guide that allows you to go through a setup to make sure that when someone registers their business and opens their back office, that you're going to set up your auto renewal, which means your renewal per year, which is done in the start month. Your direct deposit for your commissions, given your shop.com site its name. So all of us are shop.com / your name, whatever you name it. And unfranchised setup is available the next day. Many times it's available immediately. So a lot of times I'll do a registration with someone and then have them open their email, go in immediately, open the back office, make sure it's all there, and just set up these basic things. And that's usually my first meeting. And then the second meeting is when I come back and we usually go through some of the other things that are on this back office. Okay, if you see anything other than the Business Center when you log in, the main screen is displaying an action that needs to be completed. So what that's saying is this is the main screen that you see here. However, if there's an action that needs to be displayed, I'm going to excuse myself for 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. If what you see here behind this blue box is what your back office should look like. So you should have welcome alerts and franchise news, etc. If you see something that is not like that and there's a big message here, that means something needs to be completed. So pay attention to that. We also have, like I said, in the back office, some incredible graphics and support materials, flyers, things like that. I talked about going to get the new Unfranchise Owner Training, this PowerPoint. You go to Help and Training, go to Support Materials, and then there's a search bar. And you simply put in, so you could put in NUOT for NUOT, and then up comes the PowerPoint for this training. There's video-based courses available as well. So for example, you can go under that Help and Training, and there's the support materials we just talked about, come down to online training, and then click on My Courses. And under My Courses, you'll see what's available to you in the country you live in. So you'll see that your Unfranchise Business Account Back Office tutorial is there. You'll see that this NUOT training is there, and Basic 5. They are for information and coaching. I encourage you to go watch those as well. They're great coaching. However, they do not satisfy your requirements for training, so they will not get you into ECCT. You always want to make sure you're guiding a new business partner through setting up their shop.com site. So what you're going to see is, you can see over here, okay, I lost my icon there for a second. Under My Account, under My Services, it opens up another box and you'll see Website Admin. And when you see Website Admin, you're going to now be moving through. Okay, it's going to take you through notification preferences. How do you want and what do you want to get notifications on? So go down and determine. You're going to want text messaging probably for most of us. You might want some people want email. It depends how you want to get your messages, but you want to go down and check off the ones that you want to get. So I always say Form 1000, which we haven't gone over yet, but that's going to be very important. Annual renewal. You want these things to show up in text message to you so that you do not miss them or mess them up, okay? If something ever declines on your auto ship, I would want to know that. I would want to make sure that I know that. And so you want to check those things off. Same with your quarterly requirements. You can see there's a long list, a long laundry list. So you just want to go down, read what they're about, and determine with your new unfranchise owner what would be really important for them to have. I personally have everything checked so that everything comes to my phone and I can just delete it if I don't care to have it at that moment. There's then marketing emails as well regarding our blogs and things like that. And you want to make sure that says subscribe, which is the default, and then click the update button to make sure it's updated. Then you have all of these incredible websites. This is where the business becomes not only from all those back office things and the tracking, but you now have an entire portfolio of websites that are literally millions of dollars worth. And somebody else has designed them for us, keeps them interactive, always moving with the times. They're beautiful. And so all of them are branded with your site name. So whatever you name your shop.com in the back office, every other one of these sites will also follow with the same name that you gave your shop.com. So you have all these different sites, and how do you want to use those? How I use them, Market America is a business site. It's about the business. Your global.shop.com site is for people outside of the country who want to be able to buy products from you. So say you know somebody in Australia, they could go to your global.shop.com site, order from you, and whatever's available in Australia will show up. And whatever is not will not show up. And so they can order whatever products, and you can be able to actually have customers worldwide. Pretty cool. And the retail profit will go into your credit on account. Then some of these, like Isotonics, Motives, Lumiere de Vie, TLS Slim, these are sites that if I'm talking to somebody specifically about weight loss, I'm not going to send them to my shop.com site. I'm going to talk to them about TLS Slim. I'm going to send them to that site so that they are focused in on what I'm talking to them about. At some point, I may introduce them to my shop.com site. Okay, so you have the ability to set up some custom mini websites as well in your back office under website admin, and you can showcase specific products, like if you have a group of products that are your favorites. So this is just showing, make sure you're signed in to your shop.com site when you're shopping. Okay, if you are not signed in, it will, not give you the credit. So it's really important to be signed in. So I always tell people, make sure you download Shop Buddy on your shop.com site, and make sure it's downloaded to your browser. That way, if for any chance you're not signed in, Shop Buddy is going to pop up and say, would you like to earn cash back? And you click on yes, even though you're not earning cash back because you're an unfranchise owner, but you want to say that yes, so that you're getting the IBB. Okay. So on each of our websites, there's a share area, and usually at the bottom of the page of almost every page is a link to this page option. So these links include data to be sure that new customers get to your site. Now, make sure that these customers are registered with you first via their email. So you want to make sure that you either take them to your site and make sure they're on your site, because you can't see it here, but when you open your site to the home page where the logo is shop.com, underneath there it will say your shop consultant is. If it does not say your name, they're not on your site. So I like to take people either directly to our site and then have them register as a customer, or I will register them as a customer in our back office and then come to the page and send them a link to the products I was talking about. So all you need to do is come over here and you can share it with them via email, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, etc. Or you can go down to the bottom of the page and there's a little link. And when you click on that little link, it looks like a chain link. When you click that little link on, it pops up and you just hit Control-C for control copy, and it will copy it to your clipboard, and then you go into an email and hit right-click paste, and it will paste that link into your email. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're always doing that to make sure you get the credit and your preferred customer gets the credit. The link in the address bar at the top does not include details to bring them to your page. This is the URL address bar. It is not the link to your page. That is for search engine purposes only. You always want to either use a share button or to use the link at the bottom of the page. And online sales can only be made at official Market America sites. So you do not want to create your own site outside of the Market America sites and have a checkout. You can create your own site and add links to these sites. So for example, if you already have a site where you already sell a product or you already have a service, you can put links to these sites onto those websites. And then the link would take people to your shop.com site or your Motives Cosmetic site or your nutritional site or whatever. And then they would click on that link and they still would be checking out at the official Market America site. In tune with that, MA branded products and services may not be sold through any other sites on the internet, such as Amazon, eBay, eBid, Tybo, and similar sites. You may not put your products on other sites. This is a question we get asked a lot. Again, the products must be purchased at a Market America branded site, and the checkout must be through that site. So it has to be specifically authorized. If you're going to do something, they would want to see it. So I'm just going to touch base briefly here on international sales and expansion. Global expansion information is available in your back office. Most of you are in the United States when you're watching this. You are going to start developing your business in the United States. You are not going to want to engage in any unauthorized activity in another country that we are not opened in, okay? Because that really, it sets us up for failure with the company, and then we will never be allowed. They'll actually take some of the global sites down as well. So if you have customers in other countries, surely they can purchase the MA branded products from your global.shop.com site. and then Market America will do the fulfillment for that. You do not want to ship products outside the country yourself or take them with you in luggage, because if you do that, there's different labeling requirements and laws and different formulations and different ingredients per country. And so that's really important. We meet all those specifications as a company, and that's why we have a global site. And if you go out of that and it's caught, it actually comes back and affects every other unfranchised owner negatively. Now, when we go into your ordering, under the ordering in your back office, you'll see apps and feature center. And when you come up, you'll see all these different apps come up. So here you can see there's a shop.com mobile app. I have the shop.com mobile app on my iPhone so that I'm able to actually access shop.com on my iPhone. It allows me to shop myself. It also allows me to grab a link when I'm traveling and I don't have to get my PC out. I can grab a link from one of the web pages and send it to a potential customer or a customer who I already have. You also have an unfranchised media app, and that is where I was talking about this earlier, that you have this audio training library that is like thousands of hours of training from other people who have been very successful. I truly, at least 5 days per week, try to listen to at least 15 to 20 minutes of an unfranchised media training so that I'm always feeding my brain with other things. I still also listen to some outside training, some positive-minded type things to keep myself on track mind-wise and business-wise. But this audio training library has massive amounts of excellent training in it. You'll see that under, if you go down below, you'll see Hurdler is down there. And Hurdler, again, is not spelled with an E, it's H-U-R-D-L-R. And that is your business expense tracker, where you can actually put that on your phone, track your mileage, track your expenses as you go along, track your meals when you're out at an event or meeting with somebody. You pick up a Starbucks or pick up somebody else's tab for a tea. All of these things are business expenses, and you want to make sure you're tracking those because it can really help you come tax time to get these deductions. You also have resources. So let me just kind of go over some of these. Market America events is where all of our major events are located. So like if you want to get to one of the regional pages, you go to Market America events and there's links to all the regional pages there. If you want to get information on the upcoming World Conference, sorry, I had spicy for dinner, now my nose is running. If you go to Market America events, you'll see all the upcoming information for the World Conference. So whatever it is related to our bigger events, you can access all of that there. For local events and all of that, you want to more so use GMTSS in your back office and also your Facebook pages for your local areas. Each region also has a regional Facebook page. So if you're not connected to those, you want to make sure you get with your senior business partner and make sure you get connected to those Facebook pages that relate to you and your business, because there's a lot of great information on those Facebook pages. You also have the Unfranchise Manifesto. These are videos that JR shot a number of years ago on how Market America is different and what truly is the business plan. It is not for everyone. But for certain people who have questions, who say, this is just like the rest of those, this is just like every other business I've seen, it looks just like, we hear that. This is actually a fantastic explanation. It is lengthy, but fantastic explanation for somebody who is willing to learn. I recommend that in order for you to get the posture you need in business, these are excellent tools to review for yourself, so that you can gain that posture to know why we have certain things in place. Why do we have requirements? Why is the system set up the way it is? And then finally, YouTube. There is a Market America channel on YouTube, as well as a TLS channel, as well as a Nutrimetrics channel, as well as an Isotonics channel. So you can go to YouTube and look up those channels, and you can actually create your own library or resource list of videos that you particularly love and use a lot. You can save them into your file for easy use. There's also some other what I call businesses within the business that have their own websites. So like Web Center, MAWC411.com and MAWebCenters.com is really excellent, because for somebody who's interested in web centers and selling websites, they really want to go get trained properly, and a lot of the training has been recorded. So it's all on this website. There's all kinds of demo videos and great recordings on how to actually set up qualified appointments, how to connect into the sales team that works on our behalf, some great things. The same with Shop Financial. Shop Financial offers a lot of the same types of training and materials that MA Web Centers does. So you want to get with, you want to get with somebody who is working in those areas, and if it's not your senior business partner, ask them to connect you to somebody who is working in those areas so that you can get your questions answered. And then obviously Nutrimetrics is another business within the business, and Motives is as well, but we all have a Motives cosmetics.com website, and then the Facebook pages. And then you have blogs and social media links. So if you just go to unfranchisetraining.com, which is your back office, and look up the website directory, go to this link, unfranchisetraining.com/website directory.html. You'll get all of the websites that are offered so that you'll know and have resource lists. So again, you guys, I can't get across to you, we get so much material available to us. You are not going to use all of it. But the fact is, you have it all at your disposal to build your business correctly and effectively with whoever you are speaking to. I can't stress enough that this is worth millions of dollars. If you were to try and reinvent this and recreate it, it would take you millions of dollars in time, hours and hours, thousands of hours, to recreate what is created here that we are paying literally pennies for, comparatively speaking. So when we look at promoting our local sites and Facebook pages, let's look at how we can go about doing that. We have what's called the Management Performance Compensation Plan, and we have criteria and terminology that go with that. So in your back office, you have unfranchised management reports, which are called UFMS. Okay, so the Unfranchised Management System. Many reports are shown throughout this training. I'm not going to go over all of them tonight. We're only going to do the first number of slides. But 2 weeks after the Friday of any calendar week is when the information displayed on these reports is guaranteed. We get paid 2 weeks in arrears. So you want to check these reports on a regular weekly basis at the beginning of your business. Usually I say 2 times per week. It's always good to check it on like a, probably on like a Tuesday and a Friday, or a Wednesday and a Friday. Fridays are really good days. Always make sure, learn these reports. As your business grows and develops, you're going to want to learn to use more of the reports. But they're as up to date as possible, but they don't guarantee accuracy until 2 weeks later, because there's time to fix things in the system if products get returned or if somebody quit the business or what have you. It allows things to be checked and corrected. So we have 2 ways to open the business. I explain this in the webinars I always do, that we, as a sales rep versus an unfranchised owner, sales reps really are just a glorified, that's a glorified job. They basically get to sell the products, the branded products. They don't get a shop.com site. They get to sell our branded products, buy them at cost and sell them, but they still have to do the quarterly requirements that we have in place. And so there's really no incentive for them to do that. I always say, if I have somebody that wants to just sell our branded products and not partake in the business leverage part of it, then what I'm going to do is just sell the products to them at our cost and sell them to them in, like, whatever amount you want to set as the minimum. So I always say like a case of something, or they need to buy like so many hundreds of dollars from me at a time in order to be able to allow me to give it to them at cost, so that they can turn around and resell it, make that retail profit and put it in their pocket. I don't need them on paper as a sales rep to make that happen. Neither do you. An unfranchised owner does pay that subscription fee of $129.95, but keep in mind that $129.95 is actually included in the Fast Start kits. So if they do a Fast Start kit, they're not even paying that $129.95. It's included in the value of the kit is more than that. So it's a really good way to get the business started. So when you opened your business, you actually got 3 business centers. You got an 001, an 002, and an 003. And so there's 3 business centers in the computer system when you look in your back office. They're identified by a 9-digit unfranchised ID number, and each one is followed by an extension, 001, 002, 003. And your BV and IBV banks are attached to each of these business centers. Now, we're not going to worry about 2 and 3 because we're going to build just the first one the first time around, okay? Business volume comes from our branded products. The value is about 70%, give or take on different products, of the value of the product. So if the value of the product at unfranchised cost is $100, then the BV points would be somewhere, give or take, around 70. So this is for all of our branded products across the board. They have BV values. All of our affiliate partners, store brands that we know like Nike and Macy's and Walmart and Kohl's and Target and things like that. If they offer IBV, then the IBV value is based on what that store has negotiated with Market America. And then we get that IBV amount from them when we shop at those stores. So we always talk about that there's ways to create that personal use, obviously, and creating your own shopping annuity. Shopping from yourself is the whole concept here. And then creating customer sales and shopping on top of that. And so we have all these partner stores for ourselves that if we're buying at Amazon, Amazon's not paying us. We can do this, but we're not only getting paid on our own shopping, we're getting paid 100% of what other people are shopping for, 100%. So it's really important that you understand that concept because we can really leverage ourselves. And the Shop Buddy I talked about before, you download this to your browser. It's not available on mobile, but you download it to your browser. And that way, if you happen to log into a store, say Home Depot, and you forgot to go through shop.com, you forgot they were a partner store, Shop Buddy's gonna pop up and say, would you like to get cash back? If so, log in. And again, you as the customer are not going to get cash back because you're really an unfranchised owner. So you're going to get the IBV, but the customer is going to get cash back. So Shop Buddy is something we want our customers to put on their platforms as well. And then we have all the shopping annuity brands that they've created for us, and this just keeps growing, of just everyday products that we're using that we can convert our own spending instead of giving it away to someone else. So that in the end, not only are we getting good prices, but we're also getting 100% commissionable value from everyone else that's doing that. And then you've got your trial size marketing of all the different trial sizes we have, and we have great videos on that and great written materials on that to be able to help you produce customer sales and get people shopping online and taking online orders and reorders. So for information about creating value, I always say there's a number of things that you can get to be able to learn what is available to you and how to use it. Basic 5 training is a great place to start. It goes over retailing in the retailing segment of the Basic 5. You also have general product trainings that are 3 hours in length and are offered locally in local areas. A lot of times they'll do 2 of them back to back, so 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon, and a break for lunch. They are $15 each. They're not expensive. They're great ways to get excellent product information and stories so that you can walk away and just expand your knowledge base and belief. And then in the back office, unfranchise.com, you have support materials. You have all kinds of downloads, infographics, science, lots and lots of materials available to be able to gain information and share information. You also have once a year the product symposium, which is held in the fall, and the product symposium is a few days, but it's really great detailed information on our products. So It's not meant for everyone, but I encourage you that if you want to learn about your products, it's an excellent training to get to. I know some of you would absolutely love this training. And then obviously at International Convention and World Conference, there's always a little bit of talk about the different products that are coming out that are new. So I talked before about unfranchised owner costs versus suggested retail price. Unfranchised cost is what we pay for the products and services, and then suggested retail price is what the company suggests for retailing the products, goods, and services. The difference between that is the retail profit that goes into our pocket or our credit on account if they're shopping online from you. And that suggested retail price is what we encourage you to stick with. If you charge more than that, they're going to feel like they got ripped off when they find a website that's offering it at less. So make sure you're offering it at suggested retail price. iTransact is a way that we have a little more control over our business. It is a merchant account provider. So when you open your account with Market America, you actually get a merchant account through Market America. So people can go to your website, they can check out, and they actually then can purchase their products. Market America processes the order on our behalf, and then in return, they take whatever is left in retail profit after the taxes and shipping and all that kind of stuff comes out, and they put the profit into your credit on account. However, if you have an iTransact account, which is a merchant account provider, you have more control over the transactions. So you want to get more information about iTransact by looking in your back office under My Account, under My Services. I was going to say it looked like it was under Shopping Annuity Assessment, and I'm going, no, it's under My Services and then iTransact. Sales tax. Sales tax is always an interesting one. To avoid Market America charging sales tax and administration fees on orders, this is for our exclusive products, the paying owner must have appropriate sales tax documentation on file for the state or territory to which the product is being shipped. If you want to get a sales tax ID for the state that you are in, you need to go to the state website and apply for a sales tax ID. If you do that, you are responsible for paying the sales tax to your state, whether it's quarterly, whether it is biannually, well, not biannually, to be semi-annually, or annually. And every state is different. But then you're going to have to manage all of the state taxes, all of the surtaxes for the different counties and towns and things like that. I could tell you personally, it's not easy. So I always say that instead of a sales tax ID on file, it's easier to just have Market America do it for you. Yes, you're paying them an admin fee, but it's kind of like you're paying them the admin fee, which is kind of like paying an accountant to do all of your accounting for you and make sure all the taxes go into the right place. So it's just much easier for a lot of people, unless this is something you enjoy doing. If so, then you'd have to fill out the sales tax agreement that is in your back office, and send that in along with your sales tax information that you get from the state, and you must renew that periodically. Some states are every year, some states are biannual or every other year. So just make sure you consult with someone else that understands the accounting system for businesses in your state. So we need to qualify our business. Qualification means that each business development center must be qualified with 200 personal business volume before it can accrue BV or IBV. And so that means that 200 personal business volume must go into the center in order for these bank accounts to open up and allow the accrual of 100% from other people. So when you pay your subscription fee of $129.95, which is included in the Fast Start Kit, that's what FSK is, you are linked properly in the system, which means that you are connected in the system in the genealogy properly, and it means that the sponsor has actually placed you into their organization. And you have qualified at least one BDC, you are now qualified as a UFO. You want to make sure you maintain that qualification, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, you have a Fast Start program, like I talked about, which is $429.95. There are 5 different Fast Start programs. You'll see top left is the shop.com. That's my favorite because it's got lots of trial sizes now, which is awesome, so that when you get your kit, you've got trial sizes not only for yourself to try, but you've got things you can share with customers instead of having full bottles. And then you have the TLS Weight Loss Solutions, which is brand new, and also has sample sizes of the Trim Tea and Trim Cafe. So it's great that you're getting a full array of TLS products there. You have the Web Solutions, which is your being able to sell websites, but it also comes with some product samples. And then you have two different motives kits. You have a motives, the traditional motives kit, which is Lauren Reidinger's kit, and then you also have motives for Lala. And so all of these in your back office have downloads, and you can go get the download for those fast start kits in your back office and actually see exactly what is contained in each one and all of the data that comes with it. So I'm going to go over just a couple more slides and then we're going to call it a night, and this is going to be the first segment that we finished with. So when you open your business, you get what's called a qualification date. The qualification date we also refer to as a Q date. It is the Friday of the week in which the unfranchised owner initially became qualified. So basically the start date is the date the application's entered into the system and it's created in the database. The start date, the only purpose of the start date is it determines your start month for your annual renewal each year. So if you start like at the end of a month, say you start like at the 28th or 29th of a month, your start date might be, 1 month, but your qualification date, because it goes to that Friday of that week, might be another month. It might be a different month. So the only thing you'll see here is the start date is treated the same as the Q date for sales reps and unqualified unfranchised owners because they haven't qualified yet, so they don't have a qualification date. The qualification date, Q date, is the date for which both monthly criteria and quarterly requirements are based. So this one is for annual, the start date. All others are for your monthly criteria and quarterly requirements, and that date will never change as long as you renew annually. And so we're going to be going over the details of these in the next video. So I'm just going to explain the qualification date, and the details of the rest of it will wait for later. But your Q date is not officially available until after full 2 weeks from the Friday that is the Q date, and it shows up on the qualification report in your back office under the UFMS reports, and it shows up under graphic organization report. So you can see it in either of these reports. So if this person's if this person started on the 1st, then their Q date's going to be that Friday. If they started on the 5th, that is a Friday, so their Q date would be Friday. It's not going to show up in the system though, meaning in these reports, you're not going to see it until 2 weeks later. It will show up under the qualification report or the graphic organization. You'll be able to see that the person's Q date is the 5th. So it's still the Q date is the 5th, but it doesn't show up in the system until the 19th. That's what that's explaining. And this is just showing you that in the qualification report, it has the name of the person, their address, their phone, their email, and then right under that is going to be the Q date, and it will give you the Q date, and that will be always a Friday. Okay? And I think, let me just bounce ahead one more slide. A couple more little things here. You can find this for anyone in your organization below you. All you have to do is type in the name and then hit go, and it will pop up anyone with that name in your organization, and it will give you the ID so that you can pop in the ID and check anyone's qualification report. This is a very important report that we use for a lot of things, but for right now, we're just going to leave it at the Q date. Okay, so just a couple more little things. If the original Q date falls on a Friday, like I said, then that monthly Q date period ends that day. So the Q date is the month you start, when you start, then goes to that Friday as the Q date. But then every month, that date is what we call your monthly Q date. So if your Q date, if you remember on the previous slide, the Q date was the 9th. Okay, actually, I think it was the 5th. But let's say it's the 9th. Okay, so here you are, it's the 9th. And then, so the Q date is the 9th. That is a Friday. If the original Q date does not fall on a Friday, then that monthly Q date period ends on the next Friday. So in this case, if the Q date is the 12th of each month, but the 12th is a Monday, then that month they have until the Friday of that week. So it just pushes to Friday because Friday is the end of our week. Our weeks run from Saturday 12:01 a.m. until Friday at midnight. And so everything is based on ending at Friday at midnight. If the original Q date falls on the 29th, 30th, or 31st, good luck. No, I'm kidding. If the original Q date falls on the 29th, 30th, or 31st, and the current month does not contain that date, the end of that monthly Q date period is the last day of the month if it's a Friday. If it's not a Friday, the next Friday after the last day of the month. So in this case, it's showing you that the Q date is the 31st. There is no 31st. So the last day of the month is the Q date, which would be the 30th. Well, in this case, the 30th is a Friday. So this person is good that the last day of the month is their Q date that month. If this was a Thursday, then it would go to the next month and be the 1st. I am actually going to stop here for tonight. And we're going to get into quarters on the next session. So I want to thank you for joining us. Again, if you have any questions that come from this, you need to ask. If you don't ask, we assume you know. And if we assume you know, that means you are responsible for anything that doesn't go correctly. So if you have any questions, please ask, consult your senior business partner. And if they don't know the answer, keep going further to more senior business partners till you get the answer to your question. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.